name is Chef Swole, and we are on a mission to beat Elden Ring using every single unique weapon in the game. Within the lands between, there are 411 different weapons, and we will be becoming the Elden Lord using every single one of them. So sit back and relax, as during this video, we will be breaking down the ringed finger for today. We will be going over the optimal starting class, which stats you should upgrade, and in what order, followed up by gameplay of all the 14 required bosses that it takes to defeat the base game. And after that footage, where during those fights, we'll go over strategies that we use with this specific weapon against each of the required bosses. We will go into a tier list where we will rank this weapon, the ranged finger, on a tier from S tier at the highest all the way down to the broken straight sword tier at the lowest. So without further ado, let's get into the class build. The best starting class for the ring finger is the hero, because you immediately have the required stats needed to wield your weapon. The requirements for the ring finger are 15 in strength and 9 over in your dexterity. And as you see here on the starting window, we start out with 16 strength and we start out with 9 dexterity. So we're good to go right from the start. Overall, the hero class brings us in at rune level 7 with 14 vigor, 9 mind, 12 into endurance, 16 strength, 9 dexterity, 7 on the intelligence, 8 on faith, and 11 on arcanine. So how you want to focus on leveling this class, the first thing I recommend is, hey, let's get that vigor up to 30 for just survivability at the beginning of the game. Next, you want to get your endurance up a little bit to around 15 if you like being armorless. That way we can get off enough attack chains, or close to the 20 if you want to wear some light or medium armor. From then, I like to go ahead and continue pumping strength, because the weapon primarily does scale into strength up until at least 30, followed by getting your dexterity up to around 20, because it does actually scale with dexterity fairly well as well. After that, focus on that late game survivability of vigor to 50 from 30, and finish up by dumping all remaining points into strength. We want to get that ideally up to 60 by the end game. Now that we know the optimal starting class, what stats we should upgrade and why, let's head into a breakdown of the build. Now, you can only get one ringed finger in each run, and you get them towards the end of the game over in the Hero Glamour Grave. So for that reason, I recommend, being that it is optimal to play this weapon with one in each hand, this is more of a new game plus or later type of playthrough. So for that reason, we're going to assume you have access to all other weapons, talismans, psychic tears, and etc. So the optimal build for the ranged finger ends up being wielding one of them in each arm. As a hammer class weapon, they have very fast access to their light attacks, tool attack chains, but my favorite way to use these hammer classes is jumping and hitting them with a dual hammer attack. For most of the enemies in the game, 3 of these attacks in rapid succession will proc a stagger. And additionally, this weapon has an added benefit, a unique Ash of War. Sometimes it only take 1, 2, let us land, and popping the unique Ash of War, which grows the finger and flicks that enemy right off of your screen for an immediate stagger. So in order to maximize the damage with this build, we equipped one ring finger onto each hand. We equipped jumping armor, your either Greybird's Black Claw armor or your Raptor's Black Feathers. Either one of those will add a 10% boost to our jump attacks. Next, we followed that up with a Claw Talisman, which adds an additional 15% to all of our jump attacks. 15 plus 10, this gives us a total of 25%. Now, we like that follow-up flick from this build, so the idea is you jump, you hit him with a flick, and if that doesn't stagger him, one more jump will. The Stride of Alexander is going to boost up that flick nicely, an additional 15%. And because we are going to be jumping in and out and using dual attacks, that does use stamina, we're going to use the 2-headed turtle talisman. If you don't have the DLC, the base one would be just fine. Lastly, our 4th talisman slot has the Dragon Crest Great Shield for physical damage absorption. In the Flask of Wondrous Tears, we have a Green Burst here for additional stamina reduction, for additional stamina refreshing, and for additional stamina recovery speed. All 3 of these will stack with the 2-headed turtle talisman for a 3-minute boost for that stamina recovery. And the final tier is going to be the Opium Heart tier. And again, that's going to boost damage negation, including physical negation, which is going to stack with that Dragon Crest Great Shield. Now, this is what it looks like all together on an NPC. You want to jump, attack. You see when we hit it with one hammer. There's the 2. And we're just going to fight through it and get him with that nice flick. Clears the distance. And you see, we get that animation where he gets knocked right over and defeated. So that just goes to show you how this build, this setup, even when they roll away and get a couple heals on you, even if you don't get that stagger, that Ash of War is so powerful, followed up with those jump attacks with that Shard of Alexander, that even if they're attacking you, you're able to tank some hits due to that Dragon Crest Great Shield, due to that open hardtail, and really add up the damage. Now that we know the build, we've been over the class, we've been over how to upgrade it and win. Let's go into the footage where we can see how this weapon performed against each of the 14 required mandatory bosses. At the end of each boss fight, we'll be giving a rating from 1 to 10 on how difficult it was with this weapon. And without further ado, let's get into the first boss, Margit. So going into this fight, I knew that we wanted to test out the dual jumps with one finger in each hand and take a look at what kind of damage this Ash of War could do. So we do start off with that dual jump, gets out to there when he jumps, since we didn't have a clean window for the Ash of War. And now that we see the charge, we know that a clean window is coming. So we come in and get a nice flick, and we see a knockback and a stagger. Incredibly impressed with the fingering of this weapon. Morgott's going to get up. We're going to knock him back with another finger as he gets the heck out there with a quick trade, hit him with another jump while we dodge through the Holy Hammer, and we are able to finish this fight off within, 15 seconds with a nasty finger. I was very impressed with how this weapon went. The difficulty with Morgott using the ringed finger was only a 1 on 10. It was an extremely easy fight, and it made me highly optimistic for the rest of this run. This weapon really could be a diamond in the rough. Let's head up to Godrick. So Godrick is typically one of the easier fights in this run of the 14 mandatory bosses. So this is still a good time to test out kind of the benefits of this weapon and see, hey, how is this going to hold out with a pure strength weapon, no status bleed, poison rot, etc.? Are we going to be able to do enough stagger to really justify using this weapon? As you see there, we are able to quickly get off with just a couple jump attacks and the Ash of War, a nasty stagger. I mean, this flick just puts a ton of pressure on enemies. And as second phase starts, we're going to close the distance quickly and take a look at how effective this will be. A jump here and a big flick causes yet another stagger. This time we grab the critical strike on Godrick when he's down. He's one shot, so you're able to quickly jump off and finger him to the finish. Now, Godrick the Grafted is an easier fight, but this weapon just made short work of him. I think he got off a total of 3 attacks the entire time. The overall difficulty using the ringed finger against Godrick is going to come down at a very low 1 on 10. I'm excited to see how this diamond in the rough continues against the bosses in the academy. Let's go check on Radagon's X and their X pets now. So typically on these runs, the Red Wolf is the first boss that doesn't just sit there. It's a very mobile boss. It's got lots of range attacks. So we want to bait out this window, go ahead and hit him with a quick jumping finger. And we see he immediately gets away. So I knew right off the bat, it's going to be hard to try and stagger this boss. Now, that being said, the damage output was nice. It was just over 1/3 damage. And you see right there again, another one. That tells me that the damage is going to be plenty. We're really only going to need 4 hits on this boss, as he only has about 7% of his health left remaining. We had to heal a little bit here. So right off the bat, that's going to be a little bit different from some of the other times that we've had to face this boss. But we're easily able to get a quick fingering in to finish it off right there, as you can see. Overall difficulty with the ringed finger, it's not going to be too bad at all. It clocks in at just a 4 on 10. We do take some damage, which we don't in all fights here. But overall, very easy. And we're ready to head upstairs and see what that Moon Queen is up to. All right, with the pets down, let's go ahead and head to the owner of the pets, Rennala. Radagon's X, as we tactfully miss a jump attack with our ring fingers. Take a book to the face, but no worries, it'll just make us smarter. The big part of this equation is coming up next, where we see if we're able to get her in 1 cycle or if we're going to need 2. That will definitely affect the difficulty of this weapon. We never want to do 2 cycles. And as you see, we're easily able to get her down in 1 as we get ready for her phase 2. and we'll see if we're going to be able to get her with our dual jump attack or if we're going to have to mix up and find a different strategy shortly. Step one, though, as always, let's dodge her hyper beam attack. Let's go ahead and hit that jump attack. And she's going to run away like a coward, hit another one. We do get some poor RNG as she triggers her moon, but I'm looking at the damage right now from just 2 jump attacks, and they're at about 60%. So that tells me in about 3 more hits of that, she's going to be done, which really bodes well for us. And after 1, she should get into summoning range. We see it there. Almost die just due to some insane RNG. So we're going to heal up. And then we're going to re-engage her. But we know she's just about done, and we haven't even tested out the Ash of War. Again, this claw flick Ash of War is just absolutely grand. So we're going to get up and personal with her. She's charging another hyper beam. We'll dodge that skillfully. Let's go ahead and get her with a flick, and we see she's completely thrown off, allowing us to flick again. That told me with that double flick right there that if we had started off with the flick instead of the jumps, we could have just endlessly trapped her on the ground. Overall, the fight is incredibly easy. We get her in phase 1 with 1 cycle, and in phase 2, if we had just done those Ashes of War, she would have never recovered, and we would have been able to flick her all the way across the map. Because of that reason, the Moon Queen clocks in at a difficulty rating of only a 1 on 10. Let's head up to the Atlas Plateau and the Dramatic Tree Sentinel. All right, the Dramatic Tree Sentinel is what a lot of people call the first true skill check of this game. And when I'm thinking about the tier list rating of this weapon, I really heavily weighed this fight into consideration for that reason. We're able to see with 3 hits, we get a clean stagger and a quick finger of the Dramatic Tree Sentinel, proccing that second phase and proccing a quick stagger as well. We don't quite get another one until we decide to play very aggressively. We do go ahead and go for another finger, miss. Sometimes it's better to go for the memes than to go for the victory, and we just barely missed fingering that horse right where the sun doesn't shine. So we're able to dodge through there, a couple jump attacks up, skillfully dodge the fire attacks, and we're able to see, the strength weapon and the mobility of being able to get in and out with these hammer attacks. It's really shining through here. We get in these last 2 attacks, and the Dramatic Tree Sentinel falls down. Overall, the Dramatic Tree Sentinel, when taken into consideration, especially the fact that we were basically toying with them, did get a couple of attacks off. We weren't able to kill it before it moved, but the difficulty rating ended up clocking in at only a 3 on 10. We're going to charge the capital now and see if we can find the ghost of Godfrey and check out how our fingers work against a ghost. With this ghost, as always, we want to stay on his left hip right as you're looking at him and punish Omi in safe windows. So we see a quick light attack there. We stay on that hip. We bait that attack right there, that 1-2, and then it's got that optional turret follow-up. This is a fantastic way to take down Godrick, and when he jumps away from you, you're able to punish oftentimes with that jump attack and really start building up a case to get the W against him. See, despite playing kind of poorly against Godfrey, as long as you utilize that strategy, you're not going to have too much trouble. 1-2, and then we get a little stuck in the corner, but we don't panic. We manage our stamina. We know if we get the flick off that we're probably going to be able to critical strike him, and there you can see a big critical hit in as the Ghost of Godfrey perishes rather easily. A strength weapon with high damage like this and high stagger is fantastic for the Ghost of Godfrey. We made short work of it, even despite fighting the camera, despite fighting the view, despite getting cornered by the Ghost, we're able to slip out the back end, get the fingers up, and take down the Ghost. The overall difficulty rating with the ring finger ended up being a 3 on 10. All right, with the King of the Capital here, we're able to quickly get off a jump attack on him when the fight starts and dodge out. Now, this boss is a true glass cannon. He's very mobile, has a very high damage output, and especially in phase 2 with his AoE attacks, his slam attacks, his grab attacks, he can be a bit tricky to navigate. As always, though, there are some consistent windows that can get off a lot of damage. Specifically, we're looking for when he does his Sword Art online attack, where he slams this Holy Sword into the ground, get off a hit or two when he does that consistently, and obviously when he transitions to phase 2. between then and there, in order to get him down, we do have a couple windows that we look for, like the spear trail where we can roll through. And even though he moved quickly, you can see we're able to get off a big finger on him because of the tracking of that Ash of War. Here's that free window. He tried to drop his sword out online, but we're able to stagger him right out of it. And as he gets up, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, here comes phase two. Surprisingly, because he sees a kill, he sees our health is so low, he's not going to immediately go into phase two. He's going to actually try to end the fight right here. So we decide to, hey, let's go ahead, make sure we're in a safe place here. He's going to be rushing us. Let's dodge the attack and see if we can get off another one and potentially end the fight before it starts. We get off one flick, and then we decide, hey, it's not going to be quite enough, but he's got quite a bit of stagger built up on him. So with this cursed blood coming out of the ground, we're able to get off a second flick, and that time the tracking doesn't quite work. He goes completely behind us, so we'll dodge to the roll. We'll get off that third flick, and he's one shot right here. And right now, I'm asking myself, hey, is it worth it for the memes? Should we just finish it off with a jump attack? Or is this weapon so good that you can literally toy with bosses due to its reach, due to its damage? I see a big window with a hammer slam. I see a big finger. And I see Morgott, the Omen King, getting fingered to an early grave. So the difficulty rating, anytime you're able to play with a boss like that, it's not going to be too bad. We didn't melt him. Weren't able to get him before he got to the transition from phase one to phase two, like we have with some weapons. We did have to dodge quite a few attacks, but it was an easy fight and we were never stressing. Overall difficulty of Morgott with the ranged finger only clocks in at a 3 out of 10. The Fire Giant is definitely a boss where if you don't have a bleed weapon or a weapon that can take out percentages of his health at a time, it can sometimes be a challenging fight, just due to his overall massive health pool and big damage that he puts out. So we're going to give it a go with our ranged fingers in each hand and see, hey, what can we do against this? We're able to get off a quick 4 jump dual attacks, and we clock him again, and impressively, we're able to proc the stagger. So we're going to come in here, keep wheeling on with these dual jump attacks. See, does he get a chance to get off? Oh, he does. He barely gets away from us. We're going to chase him down on horseback, but the damage is already done. About 1/3 of his health has been taken out from about 6 dual jump attacks with the ring finger. And at this point, I know this weapon's damage and stagger potential is going to be well handily enough to get us over to the second phase of this fight. We're able to dodge roll the shield, dodge roll the snow, get up on the Fire Giants. He's only a couple hits away from that halfway point, that second phase, and we're able to get it now. So during the transition of the Fire Giants, I'm thinking, hey, this hand is going to drop down in front of us. Key question, will we be able to get a stagger of the Fire Giant right when phase 2 starts? His hands are the most vulnerable part of this fight, as we're explaining here in the live stream, which if you're interested in the live stream, we are streaming these challenge runs every Monday through Saturday, over on Twitch, over on TikTok. And if you want to drop in there, you can request the next weapon. So the Fire Giant's going to do his animation. He's going to put down his hand here, and that's what we're going to be targeting. We want to get a big stagger off as he puts up his hands, and I mess it up and don't get off a single attack. Got to retreat, got to back up. And it just goes to show, even if you played this game and beaten it at this point over 10 times in a row with 10 different weapons, one frame off, one misstep, one misplacement, and you can be in for a world of hurt. But luckily, all the best players of this game and new players, all players alike, we find a way to sort of recover and get those backup strats activated. And in this case, our strategy is, hey, let's get behind the Fire Giant, not stay in front of him. Let's go ahead and trigger these tracking and these ranged attacks to make sure that nothing's going to affect us. And we do get unlucky RNG there as the Fire Giant lands on us with the roll right as we were on horseback to get over in that safe window. And we almost get us again, but we anticipate at that time. That's what these Souls-like games do for you. They make sure that you learn something every single time that you fight a boss and every single attempt that you have. So now it's our turn to teach us, the Fire Giant, something. We're going to keep wailing on him, and we see he does trigger those tracking fireball attacks. Going to have to beat a hasty retreat yet again. And because of the AoE fire, we got to roll. Gets away from him. Let's hop down. Let's hit another jump attack. And we almost get the stagger. It doesn't quite proc, so we have to chase him down yet again. But I'm pretty optimistic here that we're going to be able to get a big stagger. It's got to be coming. We're putting on a whale of hurt on this giant, and these ring fingers, one in each hand, do quite a bit of damage. And to my surprise, it doesn't quite proc. We get hit with a big roll there. We chase him down, and I think, golly, this fire giant, he's got to be one shot at this point. We get a jump. He's at one. We're going to go ahead and follow him in for one more charge, hop off in front of him, and dare we finger up, and we flick him before he can get away from us. Takes one to nail one, fire giant down, fire giant fingered. The way to commit a cardinal sin is cleared up. Let's grab our maiden. Let's head up to the top of this volcano and then hopefully get into the crumbling farm, Azuka. The Godskin Duo is always going to be a tough fight, especially because unlike most people who do challenge rounds, we do not use sleep potions to create our one-on-one fights. We beat these weasels as the developers intended. One of the tips I always like to shout out is when you're doing the Godskin Duo fight without sleeping potions, you want to focus on attacking one at a time, making sure you don't hit the other one even accidentally. Reason for that is as soon as you hit either Godskin Duo just one time, for the rest of the time that they are alive before they respawn, they will be extra aggressively fighting you. And for that reason, I like to always hit one at a time as we get off a big finger of the round one, followed up by a nasty critical strike. Now that one is down, we can focus on the other one. And our focus of choice for the ringed finger is using those dual jump attacks, mixing in that Ash of War to stagger these Godskin Duos and then punish them with a critical strike. So we wait for our safe windows, such as after a fireball true, which we're able to get right there, in order to start, putting some damage on another one here. And we know, hey, he's pretty close to a stagger. He does do a back-to-back jump, and he does charge up this one as well. And we are able to, again, get dodged by a now third jump. He is going to go to second phase, but he's not going to escape us, as even with that second phase transition, we are able to finish him off before he can summon back the round one, recover up some of the damage that we traded, and continue in that true one-on-one fashion. Now that we have that one-on-one fight, we don't have to worry about a lot of the long-range fireballs from the backups, and we can just really focus on one at a time. Now, this time we had some unfortunate RNG. We didn't really get too many safe windows before he summoned the horizontal one. That was our first one right here, the slam, and he dodges it. So we got really unlucky there as far as what attacks he chose to throw at us. Not a single hit off, but even when the worst possible things happen, we're going to get a chance to see these weapons flash. As you can see, 4 hits with that jump attack. He is going to go to second phase. We are going to dodge through it. 5, and I know he's 1 hit away from a stagger because it takes 3 of those dual jump attacks. We're going to stay aggressive, and with that third one, we do get the stagger. We do get the critical strike, and as the skinny Godskin comes up, we finish off the round one just by staying aggressive. It's very important to keep this fight a one-on-one because things can go badly in a hurry when you're fighting 2 at once. 1 more hit should do it, that being said. So we're just going to wait for a quick window, not get one shot by the skinny duo, and celebrate with a massive fingering of the skinnier Godskin. It takes one to nail one. Let's see if we can get to 1 more safe window. And we're going for the maximum aura, and we do get it. A flick on the rear end for the skinny one. And for anyone who's ever been frustrated by this fight, that finish was for you. Let's see if we can do the same thing to Malkeith, Destined Death, as we continue our trek through the crumbling farm, Azuka. Now, lots of people really have a whale of trouble with Malkeith. A few even refer to him as the hardest boss of the game. When the game first came out, a lot of people thought he was even harder than Malenia, and many more said that they were hard stuck at this point in the game, never to become Elden Lords. That being said, the strategy that I found with Malkeith is that when he's in this first phase, this phase 1, you want to ideally not stagger him and sort of slow play it. So that's why you'll notice right here, I know he's probably close to a stagger, so I'm not going overly aggressive. You see, I didn't go for the dual jump there. I healed up. Reason for that is right when second phase starts, ideally, we want him to be close to a stagger. So if we stagger him in first phase, he's probably not going to be too close to a stagger in second phase. So for that reason, instead of staying aggressive there, I let him do the attack. I retreated, and I'm letting him come to me because we want his stagger to be built up nice and high, but we don't want it popped, because if it pops, we're not going to get a chance to pop him in second phase. We want that quick stagger right when second phase starts in order to take this boss out right from the jump. We're going to come up and get it, and I know he is about ready to get staggered right away. So with that, when second phase starts, the idea is you want to take 2 steps to the right and 3 steps back, and then you're able to hit an almost guaranteed 3 dual jump attacks, which, as long as you have a decent stagger in phase 1, should proc a stagger in phase 2. Once you get staggered, you're able to hit another attack and then go in for the critical hit. So that's sort of what we're explaining here in this. You want to be able to follow that up, size that up. And that's why we like to slow play phase 1 of Malkeith when we do have weapons like hammer classes, or great hammers, colossal weapons that have these heavy staggered potential buildups, because when second phase starts, we're able to consistently get those 2 to 3 hits off and then end the fight before it starts. So right here, we go for it, and I bumped him off of course. So it is kind of precise. I don't get it in like I wanted to, but don't panic whenever your plan A doesn't work. Always turn to plan B. And in this case, it is, hey, let's wait for these windows on Malkeith. Let's trust our weapon class here, trust our abilities to dodge the attacks, and then stay on him and potentially get that stagger. So he's going to come in. I see a couple free windows. 1, 2. Do we get out? We do. We can come in, and we miss it, which would have for sure procced the stagger. Very unfortunate, as he gets us with his horizontal swipe. And sometimes the fights are just like that. Sometimes you're just going to be 1 hit away. But the important part is not to panic. Don't start panic rolling. Remember your strategy. Remember what your build is set up to do, and focus on doing that. As we do the double dodge roll here, we hit him, and we finally beautifully proc that stagger. We're able to go right into the critical strike, get him down. He's 1 hit, and we line it up, and we do finger destined death. We do go for the finger at the very end after the stagger. We do proc him. We do aura fire him on him, and we do absolutely emote on Malkeith. This was a shout out, and this was done in honor of anybody who's ever had a hard time on this boss. We fingered him for you. And now that he's down, let's see what happened to the capital after that cardinal sin. I heard it needs some lotion because it's kind of ashy. The Gideon fight is always scary in these type of runs where you have no idea really how the weapon is going to play out. The ring finger is definitely not a commonly used weapon, so I wasn't sure, hey, if we're not able to get Gideon the first time around, you don't get these free hits on him at the beginning, so we're going to have to really make this first attempt count. So if we don't get him here as he heals back up almost to full, then we're going to have to really have our work cut out for us, because after the first attempt, the fight becomes much harder if you fail it 1 time. And at this point, we're very far from stun locking him, which is normally the strat with a weapon that is heavy. So we're going to slow play it. We're going to try to search for those windows where we can come in and punish with that dual finger attack. Right here, we're just a hair short, and we even get kissed by Hyper Beam. We decide instead of the jump attack to go for some horizontals, but he does have the buff where he will do the explosion if we're too close to him for too long. So we can't stay in and can't punish him too heavily due to that. Now we're going to try to dodge the magic and just get an actual face full of it. And you see right there, that is what you don't want to have happen. Now, the reason I decided to include this in this run is 1, it was very short, and 2, you can see the difference between having to fight him as is and then having to fight him when you failed 1 time. So this time, as we laid in, you're going to see the arena, the fog wall is there, and he's ready to start attacking as soon as we're in. We need to change the strategy slightly. Last time we were a little too passive, so we're going to come in the arena here, and we are going to pop our Psychic Flask as he pops his buff, and he puts a debuff on us, and now it's time for the fight to start. So we do get the Hyper Beam, and that means a free window for a jump attack, which we're able to hit. Follow up, we miss, but we start staggering him down here, and he is backing up in a hurry from us. We're able to get the light attack before his attack. The light attack before his attack, the explosion goes off, but we're able to get out of it and heal back up to full, get behind some pillars, find some cover. And I know, yo, Chef, we cannot be here all day. We got to be careful on this Gideon, the all knowing. We learned from last time, what not to do. Being, fighting too conservatively. So we are fighting much more aggressively this time for that reason. And you can see it's reflected on our health bar. We almost lost it a couple of times, but that is to be expected, especially when he gets a chance to debuff you and buff himself right when the fight starts. But this is a good example of how to beat him, even with weapons that might not traditionally think are some of the best in the game. It's all about finding those open windows. And when you can, hitting him before he gets a chance to even get off these magic attacks. He's about 1/3 health remaining. He's already used his heal, so we know it's going to be GG's pretty soon. We're going to let him roll away. We're going to get one more jump attack, and down goes Gideon. Now, Gideon was a harder fight than normal because he didn't end up taking us out. The overall difficulty ends up being a 6 on 10, but as long as you stay on him and you follow him up and don't let him get too comfortable, retreat when you need to, when your health is low, you're not going to have too bad of a time with Gideon. Let's go and see what the very first Elden Lord is up to. The Godrick fight, as always, starts with a bang, and as always, we want to stay on his left hip right as we're looking at him and bait out the attack where he runs away from us and stomps, and that lets us jump over his stomp, and while we're jumped over the stomp, we are able to hit him with a jump attack. We're behind him now. We're going to see he runs away. We jump over the stomp, and we're able to proc our stagger and knock out a critical strike right from the start. Now let's go ahead and bait out his slam attack. We'll go ahead and absorb that because we know second phase is going to be here shortly. One more should do the trick, and we're able to, again, get in the second phase very quickly. Now, the reason that we set that up that way is because when second phase starts, we want to start it off ideally with a stagger, but we get a little bit of poor RNG there, and we get the roar attack, meaning we've got to run away and let it stagger our build back up. But all hope's not lost. As long as we can get some free windows, which that's going to be one right there, we are able to get off that attack. But as you see, we miss the attack, but we get lucky and can quickly have an open window to get that follow-up attack. He goes down, and we know he is very close to his ground slam attack. We're going to go 2 fingers in on him, dodge the third one, and we are going to be greedy rather than good and finish him off with a third round of fingering. That right there is why it's better to be greedy than to be good at the game. That right there is why even when you're tired, even when you're down, you just got to keep fingering around. And that right there is how you take down the first Elden Lord using only 1 finger or 2 fingers. Let's go ahead, heal up, rest up, and head up to Radagon and the Elden Beast and finish off this run with the ring fingers. As always, when the Radagon fight starts, you want to pop your Psychic Flask before you enter the arena, because once you do, you're going to charge him down and you're able to get at least 2 free attacks on him, which we do here with our free jumping attacks. He does come up with a stomp. We're able to dodge 1, dodge 2, and get a third dual jump attack. And we know he is already very close to a stagger. We'll dodge these. A 4th one more should do the trick according to my calculations. We'll dodge his Holy Sword. We'll dodge the follow-up, and we will go ahead and finger for the stagger. Get the quick critical hits in on Godfrey as we get that big fingering going. On his way up, we'll get another one. And now it should be the teleport normally, but I realized he's not done the stomp attack. Stomp attack up, we punish it, roll into it, get 1 flick off. We're going to let him do 1 slam. We're going to let him do 2 slams. We're going to do a jump attack, and we're going to let him do that 3rd slam. And do we have the courage to get the ultimate aura move on Radagon? We do. Radagon fingered from behind and down before he can even damage us a single time. We're going to head into the Elden Beast fight now and see if this is as effective weapon as it was against Radagon. It was devastating against Radagon, and the difficulty rating with the ring finger was only a 1 on 10. We were able to chip his health down so far before he even had a chance to really do a lot of damage to us. And the Elden Beast at the start, we know he's going to be breathing fire. So I'm thinking, hey, right now we need to get behind the beast as soon as second phase starts, because if we're able to stagger the Elden Beast right at the start, it's going to set us up for a heaping of success. It's going to take several attacks to do it. Don't get me wrong, but if we're able to, it should take between 6 and 7 of these dual jump attacks based off of the amount of stagger that it did to Radagon. But that is the strategy that we're explaining in the transition from phase 1 to phase 2. As the Elden Beast rises, so does our chance at conquering this challenge using only a ringed finger. We knew the difficulty of Radagon being a 1-on-10 with that ring finger. Now let's see what the Elden Beast is going to be as we get off 2 and 3. You see our character crutch there for stamina recovery damage. 4, 5, and 6, and you see right from the start, we are able to get off a devastating critical strike on the Elden Beast. We're able to get off 2 attacks, followed up with a critical strike, and even though the fight started not even 10 seconds ago, this behemoth in New Game +4 is now down to a measly 40% HP. So he is going to run away. He is going to activate his ring around the posy attack. When he does that, we're going to turn straight around, pop our Psychic Flask for additional stamina recovery for the rest of the fight, jump over the ring, and we know the beast will appear right in front of us, and there goes the beast. So we're going to get a great miss, a second great miss, and now we know that we're probably going to have to run around the Elden Beast. 2 misses when we should have gotten 3 attacks is no good, and we get the Elden Stars chasing us. We get the Elden Beast just still concussed from all these hits, clearly. As he goes first, triple ring around the posy. We're going to run away. We're going to heal it up, and we're going to start getting ready to jump over the rings like we're Sonic the Hedgehog. So there's 1. There's a second. There's a third. We know the Elden Beast should be appearing right in front of us, and sure enough, there he is with a 4th miss in a row. But the 5th hit, the 6th miss, as the Elden Beast runs away again like a coward, we decide, hey, let's slay play this attack. We know he's close. He's going to do some explosive attacks. We're not too worried about it. Even getting hit by it, we're able to stay on top of it, bait out to the melee attack, dodge to that, finally hit this elusive weasel here, 6. We see he's going for another explosion, so we got to get out yet again. Such a cowardly boss fight, but we're going to keep chipping away at it. Another dual jump attack here, and even though he is winding up for his slam attack, we're able to get hit once, get hit twice. I almost get hit in a turn, but dodge it. We know we're going to dodge through the last one. He's close. We'll still heal up to full, and now I know he's 2 hits away. Here's hit number 1. He runs away like a coward. He does his range attack. We run around in a circle. We follow him up. He only needs 1 more hit. Do we have what it takes? Every single boss of the 13 ones have fallen before him. Now is the very last one with the ring finger. He's got a melee attack coming. We're on the horse. We get off. Can we get it? And we do. We're able to finish off the Elden Beast with the Ash of War, fingering it, and anytime you can choose how you end a fight, it's not going to be too hard. Overall difficulty of the Elden Beast with the ring finger ends up being a 3-on-10. Now that we've been able to show footage of every 14 required boss to become the Elden Lord with a voiceover on the strategies that we use to defeat them with this build, let's go ahead and look at a tier list and see where this weapon lands on that tier list: S tier, A tier, C tier, D tier, or broken straight sword tier. The average difficulty rating on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of the 14 required bosses to become the Elden Lord using the ring finger ended up being a 2.79 on 10, making the ring finger a fantastic choice to have by your side as you become the Elden Lord. There's perhaps no more fun way to use the ring finger than putting 1 on each arm, doing those dual jump attacks, building stagger, and immediately following up with their excellent flicking claw Ash of War to knock the enemy on their butts, proc stagger, and get a nasty critical hit top after. It is an absolutely amazing bonk weapon, and when you utilize one of these ring fingers, the hammer clusters in each arm, the recovery window is fantastic as you are able to land with your jump attack and almost immediately, with very few frames of recovery, hop up and jump again. Because of that, being that it is one of the better hammer class weapons due to the very unique Ash of War, being able to be a light weapon and wear 1 in each hand, and its stagger buildup, the ringed finger gave us not much trouble taking out all of the 14 required bosses, as we can see with that incredibly low 2.7 out of 10 rating, making it an above average weapon, above the C tier. We're not going to put it in front of the Ichi Katana. The Ichi Katana overall was a better playthrough than the ringed finger, but we will put it firmly in the A tier. Again, my name is Chef Swole, and we are live on Twitch and TikTok every Monday through Saturday, where we are playing these runs in their entirety. So if you have a weapon that you want to see, be sure to comment it down in the comments below. I'll reply to that comment, let you know, 1, what day we're doing the run live, and 2, when the YouTube video will be up. And when we do that video, we will shout you out in your name over in the intro. The ring finger was requested by Charlie of the James Variety, TAC PS4QX. And if you want to see your weapon, just comment below and we'll let you know what day it will be up. So until next time, fellow Tarnished, my name's Chef Swole. Stay maidenless.